Good morning, everybody. This is Mike, and Lou is in the studio with us, and everything's under control. I think we're starting to dry out a little bit. Boy, I'll tell you, for anybody that suffers from arthritis or surgery or whatever the case might be, boy, this week,
It was tough.
you felt, oh man, I went from 6'2" to about 5'1" for most of the week. I could do nothing. My back was absolutely freaking killing
So that was
me.
weather related for you?
Yeah. Anytime we get a lot of humidity and rainy weather, that's why you hear me say on the radio, I like it in the winter. Winter is my favorite time of the year. You give me 20 degrees and sunny, I'm like a kid. Honest to God,
Because it's dry.
I feel like I'm 75 again. Yeah. You what?
Nothing.
You got something to say?
No, not at all. No,
Hey,
I'm just happy for you.
don't we look like brothers, this guy? Huh?
You do, yeah.
Yeah,
We do.
absolutely. Hey, everybody, this is
Older brother, younger brother, but yeah.
that's,
I'm the handsome one.
that's right. That's true. This is Joe Gatto, and I know many of you have heard of him. He has a show, a cooking show on Pluto.
Yep.
And what is that? Friday nights at?
Whenever you want now.
No, I know it's on
Yeah.
demand, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're on demand now, but it did start on Friday nights. I was the
so
primo time
You've
slot.
come a long way, Grasshopper.
I have. Thank
Yeah.
you, Sensei.
No, that.
Like I said earlier, I have snatched the pebble.
You authored a book,
I did.
and that did quite well for you.
Yeah, it did.
You were entertaining the thought of writing another one, but you don't have the time. How much sleep do you get at night?
I don't get much.
Yeah, no
I don't
kidding.
get much. No. I was thinking about doing another book, but I mean, honestly, I think it might be. I'm just too lazy. I like to devote my time to certain things, and I love writing, but I find I love writing like TV and that kind of thing more.
Okay.
It's more entertaining.
I
for
mean,
me.
you're into so many different. I mean, you just got back from LA, right?
Yeah.
And you're working on a big project,
Mhm.
and I hope it comes to be.
Yeah, me too.
You
Me
know,
too.
one thing, folks, I have to say about Joe, and I've known him now for a little bit, and I've gotten to know his personality. On his cooking show, I have to say food is number one,
Yeah.
but your personality is definitely number two.
Oh, thanks.
You sell it.
I appreciate that.
As we say, you get it. A lot of people don't. They'll go
Yeah.
through the motions. I mean, how many cooking shows do we have on TV?
A bajillion. Yeah, it's
Not
ridiculous.
only that, that's more than 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's so ridiculous. But I think a lot of people, they want to have a cooking show, and some
wanna
people
be
like
entertained.
to do shtick.
Yeah.
And I don't do shtick. This is it. This is all you get. This
Yeah.
is me. This is who I am on or off camera. I'm the exact same.
But you bring it. My
That
point.
translates so well. That genuineness, that directness just translates so well. People love that.
I mean, I found that people
agree.
do. I love what I do, and I love sharing like my family, my experiences, because for me, food is that. It's such a unique thing, right? Because it leaps over politics, it leaps over language, it leaps over religion, it leaps over everything.
Yep.
And when you share a meal with someone, you're giving a part of yourself, right? And you're giving a part of your heritage and your family, and like there's just so much behind it. And that's what I really wanted to share. I wanted to inspire people to get back in the kitchen and really just enjoy food from that perspective, instead of here, take this cup of flour, here, take this chicken broth, do this, do that.
A quarter of a teaspoon of this and a quarter of a.
Yeah, the dump and stir is kind of boring.
I wing it. I love cooking. I made an artichoke last night for supper. It would have knocked your freaking socks off.
Just one artichoke?
I got a text picture this morning of this artichoke.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't get one.
It was picture perfect.
Oh,
Picture
I
perfect.
love artichokes.
Are we going to be able to bring it up or not?
I was just thinking of that. I wish I thought about it before.
That's
but
all right.
I'll get it sent
But
over. We'll
I
get it up on
sat
the screen.
there. It took me probably about 45 to 50 minutes to take every leaf off.
Right.
And at the holidays, when we'd have everybody over, now our family's gotten so much smaller because everybody's passed. We'd have 26 to 28 people. And I noticed as soon as I brought out a couple of platters of those stuffed artichokes, and I love to cook, Joe,
Yeah, I know you do.
everything would slow right down. People would sit there, the conversation would pick up, and It was just great. Everybody would be sitting by the kitchen table. Now it's a whole different breed. I got to go here. I got to go visit my. It's taken away from that family time, and I know you emphasize a lot family time and cooking with the family, and you do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't just preach it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do with my kids and my family. I find it's the best time. I find I get the most information from my kids. I think it's just a really good bonding experience. Like even my 14-year-old boy, right? And we all know how 14-year-olds are, right? Especially with their phones and everything else. He comes home and he wants to cook something. No phones, just us in the kitchen. He says you want to make something. That's his thing.
Do you film out of your kitchen from scratch? The show, Joey's show, is from scratch, and it looks like it's in your home.
It looks like that, but that's actually the studio kitchen.
Okay.
So I do some stuff out of my house, but like we just did I was on a magazine cover and we just did the photo shoot there.
Oh.
So.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shush. But like, I like my kitchen for
I
that.
was on Animal Crackers once.
You were an animal
Oh,
cracker?
sure. Yeah, I was the draft. You didn't know that?
We don't have rim shots on this.
I don't know. But anyway, I think it's incredible because I personally relax when I cook.
Yeah, it's a
And the
zen
house,
kind of thing.
the aroma in the house, it's so spectacular. It's just beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's a
The
beautiful
energy is, like when I make sauce, that's like some kind of weird tomato poltergeist that just goes through the house, right? And it's waking all my kids up and they come float. It's like it does something different. I have a quick story I want to share
Go
with
ahead.
you. That's I think
This is your show, pal.
this is good. All right, hold on. Let me take my shirt off.
Mike's artichoke, though. So there's Mike's artichoke.
Oh, there's the artichoke.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
It came out. It tasted so freaking good.
Yeah, I love the remotes in it.
Thank you.
It's how many remotes is that right there? Is that just to turn on the TV?
One's the phone. One's the remote. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're high tech at your house.
Oh, I told you high tech.
He was watching from scratch when he made it.
Of course he was.
High tech. I don't even have a doorbell that works. That's how high tech I am.
See, we discussed that. I think that's
I'm
great.
so far behind the curve. And you know something? I'm happy.
You don't need it.
I'm happy.
You don't need it.
I mean, I see people that can't live without being on the phone. They go out to eat. You have 4 people walk in. They sit down. Next thing you know, they all have phones on.
Yeah.
What kind of relaxation is that? That's BS.
Yeah, I agree with that. I try not to use my phone at dinner. We have no electronics at the table kind of rule. So it's just one of those things.
So you have 3 children.
I do.
Are they following in your footsteps? Do they all like to cook like you?
They all do like to cook, not like me, but they all like being in the kitchen. Even my youngest really enjoys cooking. Like my middle, Cassidy, she'll sit and work with me to do events. She'll cut like 4-gallon bags.
She preps you.
Yeah, she likes that kind of thing. My son will come down and he'll want to make ramen. He'll want to make pot stickers. So they love the cooking process and they're kind of food snobbies, which is fine with me. I mean, they grew up with me, so they should be.
That was a big part that was lost, that communal kitchen.
Yeah.
In families. That's a big
It's
part
the
that's
way-
been lost today.
Exactly.
good point.
The
Yeah.
communication in there. I mean, that's how I grew up, right? I grew up in my mom's kitchen, starting on the counter, sifting and doing things like that.
Yep.
And as I got older, we'd have our 13-inch black and white TV, blasting Julia Child or Jacques Pepin, and we'd just be cooking on a Saturday. And that's how I understood cooking. It wasn't just to shove stuff in your pie hole. It was a time to spend together.
Right.
And it's always, and that reminds me of the story I was going to share real quick.
Is it going to take long?
It's probably going to take about 1:30.
Okay.
Is that too long?
We
can
fit it in.
I can always edit it. And so my wife and
No,
I.
you can't. You don't
No,
have,
I can't.
You don't
I
have
don't
that
have-
capability.
No, I don't have that button. My wife and I went to Tulum and we went to a restaurant that was absolutely just one of the best I've ever been to in the world. And they had a dish for Conchinita Pibil, which is my favorite. And then we got churros. And the churro they served just blew our mind because it wasn't like a donut. You know, it was more like a cream puff. And it was, if you've never had a churro, churros are amazing. They're like a Mexican dessert.
I have to agree with
yeah,
you.
Churros are incredible.
Let me ask you this particular restaurant you went to, it wasn't the one where you had to take your shoes off and you sat in water. The tables were actually in water.
No, I would not do that. That would not be my jam.
It
Absolutely
was completely freaking awesome as far
Really?
as I was concerned. I loved it.
I couldn't
The
sit
only
in
thing
water.
that turned me off, like in Cancun,
Yeah.
you had places, Lou. Picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go into a business, like it's picture the Loop, for instance. Somebody rented a store
Uh-huh.
and it's all glass in front. You take your shoes and stockings off and you put your feet in this huge pool.
Oh,
that
I
have-
thought you meant you sat in the water.
That have fit. No.
Oh, okay.
Just your feet are in the water.
Okay.
But this is something where the fish eat all the calluses on your feet.
No.
So you're sitting there
No.
No.
and you got all these fish going in and out. And
No.
Hard pass.
No.
No way.
I didn't care for it. It bothered me.
No way.
I didn't like it.
No way.
didn't
I would-
like it. But
No.
you know, it's funny. Hey,
So
somebody's
it's
making.
not the ocean; it's a pool.
Yeah.
No.
With callus eating fish?
With callus-eating fish? No,
It's a
it's just-
pool. The water probably goes up halfway between your knee. But if you're out in front and you're looking, you see there's all glass. So you see these fish coming at you like you would be like fresh meat for them.
Right.
And they're going to nibble on all your calluses and everything.
So they're
else.
nibbling on me while I'm trying to enjoy my
No.
And it
meal?
No.
No, this is something totally different.
Oh, okay.
This is just to get your feet ready for a manicure.
Oh, okay. This is getting weird.
Yeah. No.
Well,
Yeah, this isn't
There's
like
some
the usual
strange-
show I've been on.
You like different.
Yeah, I like different.
traditions
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that goes down to the Atlantic Ocean and takes water to make salt. I mean, you're
right,
not.
but it's not eating me.
You're not right.
You
know
know,
that, right?
I know I'm not right in the head.
But where do you
Yeah.
think sea salt comes from, Mike?
That's
I know. But who do you do it? You live.
I don't
in a,
do it,
You
no.
live in a freaking island.
I know, but I don't have a show called From Scratch.
Yeah,
so-
it's not like I do it for every dinner.
Yeah.
You know, I don't go out and so
Yeah.
anyway.
Go ahead.
So
Anywho,
we have the
anywho.
churro. This is kind of it just wraps how I think food is. So we have the churro. I tell the waiter to tell the chef how great it was. He ends up coming out. He doesn't speak English. I don't speak Spanish, but we're talking to each other because he knows I'm a chef, and we're communicating through the waiter.
Do you still have that jacket with the sequins on it in the back? It says I'm a
Yeah,
chef.
yeah.
You still got
Yeah,
it?
with the big like
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I like
exactly. I love that jacket.
that. It's you.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. I mean, I carry around a mirror. So so he comes out and next thing you know, I'm in the back and he's teaching me how he made these churros. So I'm making the churros with him in the kitchen. He's communicating
So,
through
wait
the
a second.
waiter.
So is this a regular occurrence for you?
Yeah, this kind of stuff happens.
And
yeah.
did he know you or anything?
We,
You were just some guy asked him to come to the kitchen and
no,
teach
he
me
knew
how you
once
make
he
this.
started talking to me, like he saw me on like he looked me up on Instagram while I was
Okay.
standing there, and then he was like, "Oh, okay."
So you're not
and-
just some guy.
No, not just some random guy. And I did have the chef jacket on. So we end up doing that. We bring the churros out. He sits with us, and then as we're finishing those, which were absolutely incredible, and I understood the process much better. They bring out a piece of paper, and he had the waiter translate his great grandmother's churro recipe that we just made
Oh my
into
God.
English.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So we're friends now. We see him when we go down. Last time I went down, they shut down the top of the restaurant, and we did my birthday up there overlooking the beach. It was incredible. But now that hangs on the side of my fridge. So anytime we make churros at the house, we use that recipe, and it reminds me of that time and how much he shared his heritage with me. So from Tulum, Mexico, this little place in Stoneham is making those churros and sharing that. And that to me is like the definition of food.
Yeah.
It's way beyond that it was just really good to eat. It's that sharing and caring part of it.
Something
That's
that's
what
been
drives
passed
me.
down for
Exactly.
a zillion
And
years.
you know, they've all made them together, right? And their kids make them, and that expands out. And that's what my kids will make that recipe. And I love that. That
Yep.
to me means even more than how good the dish tastes. That part of it is just amazing to me.
You know, you mentioned
I'd love
this.
to try that because churros to me are basically Dunkin' Donuts with sugar and cinnamon.
Right. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's literally it. You make a pat of shoes. And then you're piping it into the hot oil and it just expands and you get that beautiful, like almost cream puff center.
Nice.
We just made them last week we did Mexican night at the house. So,
Hey, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Chef Gatto is our in-house guest, a very dear friend, someone who's quite interesting, and somebody who's getting involved in a few other projects in your spare time. So I want you to watch our commercials and let me know if there's anything that really hits you with the restaurants.
Okay. Yeah.
Louis, why don't we take a break and we're going to come back with Chef Gatto.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and can never agree where to go. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with the great Italian cuisine, Capri's seaside Italian kitchen and pizzeria. Me? I love the elegant romantic vibe Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu, with prices that make it the place you want to visit each and every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of a cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites, and the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Concert Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all of these great places, and they treat everyone like they are Mike Lomazzo. Best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all this fun is right at your fingertips. You can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
When you dine at Ristorante Melisse in Amesbury, Massachusetts, you feel at home while enjoying an authentic Italian dining experience not to be forgotten. From the appetizer to dessert, you won't regret your choice. Bring your cravings and appetites. They promise you won't leave hungry or without leftovers for the next day. Takeout and catering are also available. Give them a call or visit them online for the menu, online ordering, and reservations. RistoranteMelisse.com. That's RistoranteMolise.com or call 978-388-4844. Ristorante Melisse, where you're treated like family.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141. With a commitment to excellence, Colizzi Memorials is dedicated to helping families capture the spirit of their loved ones by building beautiful, lasting tributes that will endure the test of time. Trust Colizzi Memorials to build a personalized tribute that would reflect your loved one's life forever. That's Colizzi Memorials, 217 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts. Telephone number 978-674-7035. 978-674-7035.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery tender Lazy Man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back. And with us, Chef Joe Gatto. Thank you, sir.
Woohoo! I love being here. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Come and see. We
More
have a call
exciting than BUR.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
definitely. Yes. Yeah. This is like my home. I love you guys. You're like family.
Excellent.
You know?
Oh,
It's true. I know.
You know who else is like family
And
to
yet
me?
no food. He didn't
And
bring
no food, empty-handed.
No food. I know. I was really busy this morning. I thought of it too. I thought of it.
First thing Louis looked at, your hands.
But he said Joey's coming in next week, and I go, food, excellent.
Yeah.
That's
I had
exactly
to get
what
my
he said.
workout in, and then time just got away.
Hey, listen, we have a caller for you.
Okay.
And, we talk about being family. Well, this guy is part of the Sicilian Corner family. His name is Roger Trudell. Roger, you're on the show.
Good morning, Mike and Chef Gatto. It's always a pleasure. I've spoken to you before, Chef.
Oh, yeah. I recognize that voice.
And Donna, you not only do you give good advice, you're just so darn entertaining.
Oh, come on.
Thank
Will
you.
It's amazing. Oh, God. In fact, Mike knows where I am now. I'm sitting in my basement looking at my my alliums, my onions, my shallots, and I've started my pepper plants, and talking about from scratch. That's
Nice.
how I do from scratch. 'Cause
I
I want
love
to know
it.
where my food comes from.
It's an important thing, right? I mean, when that's what I try to stress to parents as well, and just in general, to have that kind of knowledge of where your food's coming from. To me, I think not only does it taste better, but it gives me a lot of satisfaction.
That's the key.
right?
Yeah.
And making
Hell
something
yeah.
by hand. It's just
Again, just growing all the different kinds of tomatoes and peppers and just going through seed catalogs. It's just astounding. And people have no idea that there are over 2,300 varieties of tomatoes.
Are there really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's solid knowledge right there. 2,300 varieties.
You never know when that question's going to come up.
No.
I mean,
That's like a
it could be
Jeopardy
this
thing.
afternoon at 3:00. I don't know.
I don't know. It could be a phone call when I'm going somewhere. You never know. That kind of stuff comes up to me. People challenge me all the
But
time.
you know, Roger does a great job, and I benefit. I'm a benefactor.
Oh, I see. Now I get it.
And,
Okay.
And Louis has already got some bags put aside, so in case we get surprised,
Uh-huh.
he has something to put it in. You know?
I see why he goes to the top of the list when he calls. I get it.
No,
Now I need some bags of
Food is
tomatoes.
currency on this show, Joe.
Yeah, I love it. Food's currency in my life. I get it. I get away with a lot.
It's the
because of
lowest
food,
common
too.
denominator on this show. Let me tell
I
you,
think
brother.
that's me. I think I'm the lowest.
Jeff, I just have one thing to ask of you.
Go ahead.
Again, my son is a chef, CIA trained.
Yep.
I am a carpenter. I love shop tools. Please implore upon Mike that you just don't sharpen a knife with the damn steel. You need to really, every so often, get a new edge on it. And it's the joy of cutting with a sharp instrument is beyond belief.
Roger, we are officially friends now because that is the truth. Steel does not sharpen your knife. It just takes off the nubs. You need to actually sharpen your knife. The steel just kind of hones it. So yes, you do need to sharpen your knives. Typically for me, I do it at least once a week, but I'm chopping all the time. For someone at home, you want to be making sure that all your knives are sharpened at least once a month. If you don't do them yourself, give them to a professional.
I put a pretty good edge on with my stone. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean,
stone and a steel are two different things.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I work with both of them.
Okay.
And my knives are pretty gosh darn.
If you have a stone, you can definitely put a nice edge on that.
All right. Roger, that's an excellent question. I know it's a dig at Mike, but that's okay. You know something? I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy. Hey, listen, Roger. Have a nice weekend, brother.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Good talking to you.
Tell us how, Joe, because I get frustrated by this because I go to thrift stores and my knives are generally disposable. When they get dull, I get rid of them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like running out of gas in your car and throwing your car away.
I know.
I mean, you want to be using a stone. It's a very simple process, but I'd have to show you to actually do it because it's a very like hands-on technique. But once you understand it, if you have a bunch of knives that are dull, you take one. This is what I did. I took one and just spent half a day practicing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends what kind of edge you want, like the angle, right? Like what you're cutting, that kind of thing. I mean, it's this kind of downward circle-ish motion. Is that how you do it too? And I use a little bit of oil.
Yeah,
on
you're
mine.
supposed to.
And it just creates this net. And you don't have to do it for hours. It's not like you're grinding it down. You're just kind of re-edging it. What the steel does, like you see in all the movies when someone's wiping it up and down, what that does is it takes the burrs off. So when you're chopping, if you hit a bone, these microscopic burrs go like this on your blade. So that takes that off and removes it. So you are getting sharper, but you're not actually sharpening it.
Gotcha.
So when you're using the stone, what you're doing is you're taking it and you're grinding it down to reintroduce the edge.
You know, you have market basket stores close to home, right?
I think there's one in Burlington, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there is.
That's the one I used to go to. When I
Well,
was a
if
kid.
you look at their meat cutters, they all use steels to sharpen their knives. I mean, that's the way I learned. When I worked at Butcher Boy, I learned how to sharpen it with
Yeah, I mean, you can get it sharper, but if you want to truly sharpen your knife, you're getting that edge back, and it does work. I mean, I use it at my house, but I'm saying to sharpen your knife, like to truly sharpen it,
Really
you need a
sharp.
stone.
All right.
But the steel keeps it so you can keep cutting and you don't have to take all that time.
Okay. You know, Joe, what I wanted to ask you, we went through a tough period throughout the world, really, with COVID.
Yeah.
I think if nothing else, and it brought people back together. I mean, households, family.
Forced the issue.
Cooking. It did. It forced the issue. Between COVID, between what was going on at 5.45 inflation rate and what happened to food prices, it seems like a lot of people were starting to cook more in their house along with their family.
Right.
And I look around and, I don't know if you're familiar with the Fens area, Victory Gardens in the Fens.
Not really, no.
It's really, for somebody like you, it'd be eye candy because there's so many different countries represented in that. I think there's 510 different plots that you can rent during the course of a year. And everybody grows what they were used to in their own country.
Fantastic.
And if you ask them a question, and most of them will speak a little English, and at least you can get your message across to them. They're so proud to show you what they've grown. And it's not, and you can always tell the Italians because they got the arbor and they got the broken down chair.
Yeah.
And there's a thing of wine sitting next to them.
Of course.
I mean, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Beautiful.
But it's not just in the Victory Gardens, in the Fens. I mean, like I said, it's a treat to walk through and to ask questions. These people love it. And not only that, you look at Fenway Park, Louis. Look at what they've done there. Look at the gardens they've created at Fenway Park.
That's on my show. We were there for when they put them in. That's on my show.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You can see me go up there we actually were there for when they were bringing all the dirt up. And then on part of the show, I go there and I go through the whole garden and pick tomatoes to make ketchup with.
You make your own ketchup?
Of course I do. Not all the time, but yeah,
The show
I do.
is called From Scratch. He makes everything from scratch.
I do. I make everything.
Well, next time you go to Fenway, it's right across the street. It's right across Brookline Ave.
I'll have to check that out.
Down the right field line. You just walk across the gardens right there. They're gorgeous.
Okay.
It's so much fun.
It's a hidden area. One, not that I'm going to say it's not discovered, but there's no place to park. Okay. And
welcome to Boston.
Well, I know, but you've got, this beautiful, beautiful area to walk through. And then directly behind that, you've got,
I'm sorry, Boston Street, not Brookline.
We've got a rose garden, and they've got like 110 different types of roses. And then there's a memorial garden that's set up. So there's 3 huge freaking gardens. Nobody knows about them because you have no place to leave your car.
Right.
So you have to hoof it. But I'll tell you, it's most interesting.
That
But
sounds fantastic.
You look at some of these buildings, and more and more of them are using their roofs to build the gardens.
Oh, it's huge.
What is
huge.
the produce that's grown at Fenway? What do they do? Is that
they do a
donated
ton there. They had bees there for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
I mean, it was amazing what they're doing. The rooftop gardens, they use a lot for events there, from my understanding, at least when we were up there.
Okay.
And they grew everything. Tomatoes, cucumbers, everything you can grow, they were growing.
Well, I think it's great to offset, not being able to, like the tomatoes that Roger gives me.
Right.
He'll give me some plants and I put them up on my deck.
There you go.
And, I go out, I want a tomato. I just grab one, little cherry tomatoes.
It's
If
the
I'm
best.
walking in the yard, I'm popping them in my mouth.
It's like candy.
Instead of M&Ms.
Yeah. That's the beauty of having your own garden. We have every year we have a couple planter boxes that we do tomatoes, peppers, hot peppers, things like that. Cause I love pickling like jalapenos and things like that. So yeah, I think that's a great thing to have at the house if you can't have a huge garden.
Well, it's hard for me to bend, to get on the ground. That's with my back. So, I compensate by putting plants here and there on railings and whatnot, so I can reach it without going freaking bananas. And plus, if it's right in front of you, you can keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like my kids. Yeah. I put them up on railings all the time.
Do you really?
Just to keep an eye on them.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
You got special hooks?
Of course I do. I keep them on like telephone cords. So yeah.
What's your favorite type of food? What do you like to cook? You as an individual, forget the chef part. What do you like to cook the most? Italian, corned beef, what?
I would say Mexican, like
because you like spicy food.
But Mexican's not spicy.
It's not.
No. No, that's just a misconception.
It's just a different palate.
Yeah,
For all
it's
those of us
like,
who are raised Italian, it's
you
just
know,
a different
I mean,
right, but
taste
like
palate.
Italian, you can get
Hot
like
peppers.
Diablo and things like that, right? And like Mexican, you can get jalapenos with it if you want, or something spicy. But like Conchinita pibills, like pulled porks, things like that. For me, the earthiness and the citrus that is Mexico, and we're down there pretty often. That to me is just plays on my palate the best. I love cooking it the most. I love
That's
the
interesting.
simplicity of like when you're making a meat and it has these earthy cumin, chili powder kind of tones, and then you're using this really bright citrusy salsa on top. So you're getting that play and making your homemade tortillas. I love that kind of cooking. If it came down to it and I had to cook one meal, like, you know, my walk to my, you know, being put in the death chamber kind of thing, I would probably do like a cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger?
Okay.
Nice.
Like a real good cheeseburger with the homemade roll, like the whole kit and caboodle. That's something.
What would you grind for the cheeseburger?
Little brisket, little chuck.
That's the
best,
best hamburger you can make.
Yeah, so probably like, you know, I would probably do about 70 chuck, 30
30.
brisket.
Yeah.
You know, and then the last time I did a grind, I did a quarter pound of homemade bacon because I make big 5-pound slabs of bacon on the smoker.
You do too?
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to make homemade bacon. That's like that's like a rite of passage.
Silly me.
I have to.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, when we come back, can we talk about making pizza?
Oh, you mean
Easy.
like I teach a master's class in pizza?
Easy.
I'm
Take
getting
it
look at
easy.
me. Look how excited I
you're
am.
sweating.
I'm like, oof.
We're going to
Wow.
be right back,
I gotta
everybody.
Fan myself.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and can never agree where to go. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with the great Italian cuisine, Capri's Seaside Italian Kitchen and Pizzeria. Me? I love the elegant romantic vibes Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu, with prices that make it the place you want to visit each and every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of a cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Concert Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all of these great places, and they treat everyone like they are Mike Lomazzo. Best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all this fun is right at your fingertips. You can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Sisters and co-owners Antoinetta and Elisa brought their family authentic Italian recipes from Molise, Italy, and a warm and welcoming dining experience to its customers at Ristorante Molise. The combination of their meals made from natural, homemade, fresh ingredients and your time with family and friends together at dinner time is unmatched. Located in Market Square in the heart of Amesbury, they're open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday from 3 to 9 p.m. and are available for private parties during off hours. For reservations, call them at 978-388-4844. That's 978-388-4844.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141. With a commitment to excellence, Colizzi Memorials is dedicated to helping families capture the spirit of their loved ones by building beautiful, lasting tributes that will endure the test of time. Trust Colizzi Memorials to build a personalized tribute that would reflect your loved one's life forever. That's Colizzi Memorials, 217 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts. Telephone number 978-674-7035. 978-674-7035.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler.
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
he is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back. Joe Gatto's with us, and this is a hamburger. Is that a hamburger sandwich?
It's pulled
What
beef.
the hell is that?
Pulled beef, grilled cheese with homemade pulled fresh mozzarella, homemade
Who
pickles.
can open their mouth that wide?
It's
but
two
besides you,
stacked. I can open my mouth that wide, no problem.
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that came
So
out great.
not only doesn't he bring food, he brings pictures of food. Just
No,
a
he knows how to
ton.
hurt.
I'm a
Just
tease.
ton
He
of-
knows.
yeah.
I'm a
You're a
tease.
tease.
I am.
All right, let's talk pizza.
Let's.
All right.
One of my favorite things in the world.
Okay, so what do you start doing first? You make your own
Grind
dough.
my flour.
You grind your own flour.
Yeah, you grind half of it, and then I use bread flour for the other half.
Oh, okay.
Because you get a much richer dough that way.
All right.
So I'll do that, right? And then
I know without doing it and watching it, it's a little difficult for you to explain, but
no,
you've handled bigger projects than that.
I have. I'm here, aren't I? Like, for me, it's really the key to it is once you make the dough, right, and you get your yeast and your water and salt.
And that's all it
really
is,
simple.
really.
Yeah,
Right?
and we make different doughs at the house sometimes with like dried herbs and parmesans and things like that, and make calzones and things with it.
Okay. What's the difference between pizza dough and bread dough?
There's really not too much difference.
Okay, I didn't.
There's
think
really
so.
like my bread dough. I'm using milk and butter in it too because I like to make
Okay.
a fluffy roll for the kids.
You
Like
want it airy,
right? And I'm and rich because I make all my kids rolls for their lunches for school. I know. What this is all I do, guys. So with the pizza dough, I think the key is 72 hours. You have to let it go for 72 hours.
so you put a wet towel over it.
So I do 24 on the counter, right, to get a full rise.
Okay, room
Right.
temperature.
Yep. And then I punch it down and it goes into the fridge. So it gets 48 hours cold fermentation because you want to stop the rising process, but you want the flavor to continue, right? That fermentation. So you're getting a flavorful dough. So when you pull it out, not only is it fermented and really tasty, but it's hydrated properly. So when you're cooking it, you get a much crunchier bottom.
I get it.
Right. And you have to work that dough. You want high gluten because what you're looking for is when you slide that pizza. I use a baking steel because I think baking stones are horrible.
I was just going to ask you. Okay.
I think baking stones are just a horrible product that was just pushed on people.
Well, when you put
Really?
something on top
Yeah.
of it, doesn't it drop the temperature?
Yeah, it drops the temperature tremendously.
Uh.
So what happens is your pizza continues to cook, but you're not getting that leoparding on the bottom. But with a steel, think about it. Steel doesn't drop temp.
Right.
So the minute you slide it on, you're getting that leoparding, that caramelization, plus you're getting that rise. And when you have a high gluten dough that you're making, right? What's happening is when it slides on to that 500 degree, 600 degree surface, right? The water is immediately turning to steam. And that's why you get the bubbles.
Which is good.
Which is really good. So if you have a high gluten that you've done properly, you get those nice big bubbles, right? But if you haven't worked it properly and you have low gluten, the bubbles just start to go and then they pop and collapse and you get a crappy dough.
So
in Italy, they have a machine that measures the tension strength of your dough so you know you can get those big bubbles.
Wow.
Roger asked about the water, and I think it's an important.
Yeah, like
question.
some people really. I use filtered water.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if it makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
But I find that
pizza in Florida sucks.
It rises way better
because of the water.
Yeah, and I mean everyone talks about the New York water, right? That's like in every pizza conversation I've ever heard. Pizza dough is that New York has the best water for pizza dough.
Does anyone say why?
There's like a million reasons,
Yeah.
like the pH levels. There's just like all these things that I've heard. I don't know if it's one of those things that's just
folklore.
Right. But I use filtered water at the house that I bring to temperature. You know, because
what pH?
I have no idea.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
No, it's
I
fine.
have
Not a
no idea.
consideration, yep.
No. But I like the filtered water because I feel like the yeast reacts to it better. I get because I pre-bloom the yeast, right? You have the warm water with a little sugar, and then you put your yeast in and you let it kind of bloom. Never put your salt in the water, by the way, because salt kills yeast. Put the salt in with the flour.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you don't want to salt your water because it stops the yeast. It like doesn't like that. But if you put the sugar in, you know what the yeast is doing because it starts eating the sugar, right? And then it's burping. Basically, is what it's doing and creating all the carbon dioxide.
So the next question that we should really talk about is making cheese, mozzarella.
Mm-hmm. It's a must.
It is a must, right?
I mean, if you want next level pizza, just don't buy, like, grate the cheese at least. If you're using like a cheddar or a mozz, pull it with your hands and grate it. If you're going to use mozz, I am a big believer in pulling fresh mozz just because I think it's just creamier. And what you're looking for, like any kind of dish, you're looking for balance, right? So we have that crispy texture on the bottom, that nice chew, right? That acidic tomato and that creamy mozzarella. So, you know, when you get all those playing at the same time and you're making them all by hand, you get next level.
Are cheese curds available?
Oh, yeah.
Easily?
Oh, yeah. You can find
Okay.
Mott's curd everywhere.
Everywhere, right?
Yeah. I would never suggest for people at home to make the curd themselves. It's a long process and it has a lot of potholes along the way.
Yeah.
We've done it a bunch, but you know, that's all I do. So, but Mott's curd, all you're doing is taking the curd, heavily salted water, right? It has to be like ocean water.
Something you would get a mouthful at the beach?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You want it really salted. And then you have the curd cubed and you're pouring the hot water over and you're stirring it.
What do you do with the whey?
You dump it.
You just throw it out.
Yeah. You can, just because you're putting hot salted water over it, so the whey gets ruined. But if you have whey, you can use it for plants. If it hasn't been
it's fertilizer, but with all that salt,
but with all the salt, you can't do anything with it. It's used a lot for cattle feed.
So how many times you have now? You're using really hot water because it's going to change the consistency.
Right.
When you first look at it and you start to crunch it up, it
looks like a brain.
Yeah, a brain.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then you change the water again, more hot water, and then it starts to get that.
Yeah, it starts to get glossy.
Elastic.
Right. It starts to. Oh, yeah. It starts to get glossy, and it
Jesus,
starts.
I'm
to
getting
come together.
hungry for pizza.
That's. I mean, that's
Okay,
one
so
of the
let's-
things.
Let's move on to the sauce here. What is the difference between a marinara sauce and a pizza sauce?
I mean, a pizza sauce you don't cook. Never cook your pizza sauce.
Okay.
So marinara, you know, depending on whose grandmother you've
Yeah,
learned
of
it
course,
from.
yeah.
But pizza sauce to me should be San Marzano tomatoes, salt,
the best,
pepper, and maybe some dried herbs. That's it.
Just pureed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you can leave it kind of chunky style, puree it, because my littlest one will pick them off. But for me, the key is don't cook it because it's going to cook in the oven.
Yep.
And when you cook it down, you don't want to take away that acidic freshness. And that's what happens when you cook it down. You want that pop on your pizza so it plays into that balance. Yeah, then maybe a little fresh basil. I don't know, some meatball, maybe some bacon.
Don't forget a glass of wine.
Pineapple on pizza?
My son would say yes.
Really?
And if that's what he wants, I don't care. I'm not eating it.
That's sacrilegious.
I mean, you can tell him.
I'm in.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he loves it. He thinks it's great. I mean,
you get a shop in Newburyport, and they have all these wild pizzas, and it's fun, just fun.
Yeah, it's fun to just try them. I mean, it's not something I would ever order, or you know. And when my son makes, you know, when my son eats it, I make fun of him. But that's okay. That's what dads do.
Do you make homemade wine?
Homemade whey?
Wine.
Oh, homemade wine. No, I don't drink.
Your ears overlap.
I'm sorry.
So you just turned pizza into a 72-hour process at a minimum.
At a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
there goes your craving.
I really, but I mean, one of the things that I do when it hits 72, I'm making double batches.
Yeah.
And I'm dividing them into 4 and I'm rolling them and then I'm putting them in saran wrap really tight and then I'm storing them. So if I do need dough really fast, it's in my freezer. But yeah, I mean, if we're going to, I'm thinking about it on Wednesday, like, oh, we're going to have pizza on Saturday. So I'm going to start making the dough now. And I do classes. I teach it. I mean, I teach pizza at least once a week to 30, 40, 50 people at a time.
Wow.
So I'm making all the dough for that class 72 hours ahead of time. So everyone gets a dough like that in one of my classes. And then they make a dough in class that they take home and they use 72 hours later.
Joe, we got less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
How can people follow you?
Instagram is definitely the way to follow me at Chef Joe Gatto. It's really simple.
Okay.
And you can find me on Facebook as well, Chef Joe Gatto. But Instagram, it leads you to my TV show, my radio, my book, everything. And it updates, you know, we're developing out a new show now. So you can get all the updates there. You can see the crazy things I make. You can see pictures of me and you and your handsome mug, like things like that, you know?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the new show?
Yeah, I'm developing out a new show right now with my friend Brian Callen, who's a comedian. He's in The Hangover. He was on the original cast of Mad TV. And we're developing out a show right now where we're taking comics out into the field to learn how to make things from scratch, like milking cows and things like that.
That ought to be a freaking hoot.
I don't think it's going to be unfunny.
Is this your concept?
It is. It is. I'm developing it with Brian and another company, Buck Productions, out of LA. And
Louis and I want to wish you the best on that.
I thank you guys. I love coming here. You know I do.
Well, I know sometimes it's not easy to get the time to be able to get involved with this, but you know something, it's a pleasure. But
yeah, okay, waiting.
Come bringing gifts.
Well, next time I'm definitely going to bring food. I had poor time management this morning. I'll go ahead and say it. It's okay. But I had to get that app working today, you know, because I know I'm going to eat chicken piccata on Sunday, so I got to get ahead of it. You know, know how it is once you're over 25. For me, it was just like I look at something and gain weight.
Isn't it something? Huh? The older you get, what happens?
Yeah,
and it's always and a guy. It's always on their stomach.
Yeah,
a woman. It's always on their culo.
What's that?
Yeah.
Should I ask? Is that right? Oh, really?
Are you Italian?
I think so.
Well, what the?
I mean, I'm half Italian, so I don't understand all the words.
Listen, I'm out of time.
Oh, well, that's a bummer because I could do this all day.
You gonna come back, brother?
Love being here. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is the best.
I hope you have time to join us next week, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. I know Saturday's supposed to be really nice. Sunday, I think, is supposed to be iffy. So enjoy tomorrow. Get out and have some fun. Take care, everybody. Joe, thanks for coming in, pal.
Thanks again. Thanks, everyone.